Why do some people experience healing or miracle? Today, we are going to continue our studies just about that topic. Last time, we used the life of the lame man to illustrate how God works in someone's life to experience healing or miracle. And what that receiver, in this case, the layman, did to be able to experience healing or miracle. Well, today we are going to talk about connection. You have to connect with God to be able to experience healing or miracle. But first, let me ask you, are you this? Or are you this? What does it matter which one you are? Let me share with you what God told me at one time. Let's look at this man wearing a white robe with a dark coat over the white robe. What's the significance of it? One night early in the morning, God woke me up and showed me that vision. And he asked me, Connie, what happens when I remove my black coat? Let me ask you a question. I'm going to ask you the same thing. What happens when you remove the black coat or the black robe that the old man was wearing? God said, the whole white robe will be exposed. And he said this, until you remove that black robe, you're not gonna experience healing. You're not gonna experience the miracle from me. You must remove that black robe so that you can expose your white robe. And that's where we experience healing, we experience miracle. So what are those dark things in our life that's in that dark robe that we are wearing? That is what we are going to tackle from this point on. Friends, today we need the empowerment that only comes from God. We have to ensure that the Holy Spirit that He has given us is 100% working in our life. So, friends, do not miss our study. Subscribe. As we tackle our studies, I'll give you specific examples and some true life testimonies that I experienced and were experienced by others. Because word is only a word. Letters are only letters unless we experience what He says we will experience when we do the things He says we should do. There's so much things to talk about. So we are going to take 5 to 10 minute studies to go over those. But as we go over those, you will experience God's presence, God's empowerment, and Him working in your life. Well, let me just read you point 1, and then we will discuss others later on. Point 1. When you do what God tells you not to do, and you ignore what He is asking you to do, that is a part of that robe that you are wearing. And how would you take that off? How would you turn that black robe to a white robe? It's just part of it, friends. You cannot remove the whole black robe because there's a lot of things that you have to know. There's a lot of things that you must do that God tells you to do. But we'll tackle it one by one. What would you do to turn that black robe, that piece, the part of your dark robe, to white? Stop what you're doing and do what He tells you to do. And then that part of your dark robe is gonna turn into white. And you must do all of those that God says to do so that eventually that dark robe is taken out and your white robe is fully exposed, where you're experiencing miracles and healing. The water that's flowing from the faucet is continuously going through the hand. That means that the barriers that's stopping you from experiencing God, experiencing the miracle, experience the healing is gone. And the water or God's empowerment is going through your hand. You receive it because you have cleared those dark things I would call debris. What does the second image tell us? You noticed that in the second tube there's debris on top. Those debris are forming up there and is restricting you and are forming as hindrance in you receiving God's healing or miracle. If you notice the hand at the bottom, the debris on top, and then the third picture is this. As we continue to form that debris, notice the third image. There's a block that's totally hindering us from receiving God's healing or miracle or empowerment. Notice that the water in the faucet stops at the block. You see the hands of the bottom. It's not receiving the water that's flowing down from the faucet. So our goal, friends, is for you to be in that first image where you are in the position to experience healing, miracles, and empowerment. And that's what we are going to talk about coming up in our future studies, those debris that are causing us to not experience healing, miracle, and empowerment from God.